I was noticing the other day about how uh, a lot of people, have responded. Like they'll either say, "Oh yeah, I kind of knew something," or "I thought, um, she's just always one of the guys anyway," and um, and I started to wonder why that response was kind of not as helpful to me, or it didn't seem as comforting to me as uh, I think they probably intended it to be. I know it was, it was intended to be okay, so it won't be that much different. What do I care? Like, not in a bad way, but, you know, how will my life change, kind of? People basically respond and how they think that their life will be affected. And so if you're just, one of the guys, then maybe it's not that big of a change. But I think once I've made this decision to switch to just completely fully accept who I am and to tell people about it and to move forward, then all I notice are, when people call me by Simon, when people call me Simon, and when people refer to me as he, all it seems to do is highlight the feminine parts of my person, right? So, um, whereas before, all I saw were the masculine parts, um, now all I see are the feminine parts. And sort of, I guess it's just, an eagerness to try to bridge that gap. And it's just become obvious that it's so much bigger than I kind of ever um, had realized or had choose to realize. It's just the idea that being one of the guys, is fine and nice, but you're never really one of the guys. You're not really privy to the conversations that they're having, when I'm not around. And so I'm not really fully socialized in that world, and I definitely wasn't fully socialized in the female world, because I was so uncomfortable always, um, that I would kind of pull back from any kind of, even though I've attended lots of events with women, um, I just never really felt. I always felt like I was, like the fox in the henhouse. Just like I was intruding. And why don't they see that I'm not supposed to be here? Like I haven't surrounded myself with mean people, so people have always been kind and have tried to make me feel comfortable. It doesn't matter what you look like, and like super nice things, but it didn't change the way that I felt. I always felt, just kind of stuck. What's great about coming out is the hope that maybe someday I wouldn't have to live in that in-between place and that I could just be, right? So I don't have to constantly prove myself, or have or overcome anything to just have a conversation with somebody that I've just met. Um, maybe, it doesn't even matter to me, but at least I would have the choice then that I can let them know, you know, different parts of my background or whatever, but I would be choosing to do that instead of having to kind of, convince you that I'm not just the first impression that you got of me. And, uh, I don't know what people expect, but whatever it is, I've always felt like I needed to kind of, you know, talk them through it. Like, I'm a nice person. I'm not, it always feels like there's just this like hill to climb when I meet someone, and it's not them, it's me. But um, that doesn't make it not there. So anyway, yeah. So that's been a really interesting. I think just knowing that it exists, when I'm able to sort of define something like that or to figure out what was bothering me, these are huge steps for me because I feel like I have spent so long just ignoring everything, ignoring the way I feel, ignoring the way that I present, ignoring the way that how I present affects other people. Not really. I mean, sometimes that's all I care about, right? I just mope around because, you know, whatever. Maybe for another time. It's July 2015, and I start tea next week. Looking forward to it, and